Welcome back. Well, 12 parties, including local and foreign banks, have expressed interest in taking a stake in Kenya's Chase Bank. Regulators placed the mid-sized lender under receivership in April 2016 after an unexplained loss of billions of Kenyan shillings. The Kenyan bank is not associated with JP Morgan Chase. The central bank invited expressions of interest in the Chase Bank stake at the end of March. The applicants include 3 Kenyan banks, 4 foreign lenders, and other parties. Chase is in the hands of the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, a state body that protects depositors in case of a bank failure. The central bank wants to find a strategic investor for Chase, but has not specified what size stake it will sell. MTN Group reported a 7.1% rise in first quarter group revenue, helped by a strong performance in data services. Ratings agency Fitch downgraded MTN to junk status in April and gave it a negative outlook, citing weakness in the economic and operating environment of its main subsidiaries in South Africa and Nigeria. MTN says data revenue, which contributed 20% of total revenue, was up 29.4% for the 3 months ended March 31. The firm, which does the bulk of its business in emerging markets, said Nigeria's subscriber base declined by 2.3% in the quarter due to new regulations, while total revenue increased by 11.6%. Nigeria is among the 5 countries that collectively attracted 58% of Africa's total foreign direct investments projects in 2016. That's according to EY Africa's 2016 FDI Attractiveness Report. The other countries are Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, and South Africa. The report, which offers analyses on the inflow of FDI into Africa, shows that the continent attracted 676 FDI projects, a 12.3% decline from the previous year. FDI job creation numbers also declined 13.1%, but capital investment rose 31.9%. Anson Young says the surge in capital investment was primarily driven by capital-intensive projects in real estate, hospitality and construction, as well as transport and logistics sectors. The report was launched today in South Africa at the start of the 3-day World Economic Forum on Africa in Durban, South Africa. Now, Africa's stance on the challenges facing the global economy and the impact of the 4th Industrial Revolution, which is aimed at driving change to global industries and business models, will come under scrutiny at this year's World Economic Forum on Africa. About 1,000 delegates, including heads of states, global business leaders, and non-governmental organizations, are in Durban, South Africa today till Friday, the 5th, for the summit. And of course, Channels Television is at that event. Let's talk to our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia, who is presently in Durban for this summit. Good afternoon, Betty. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the summit begins today. Tell us, what is the mood around Durban now?
The mood is quite mixed. Of course, as usual, you have hundreds of meetings going on at the same time. But we know that, well, from the views I got from some of the people, it's reached a point where, especially for Africa, where they're saying it's time not just to keep talking about these things, but to hold the leadership on the continent accountable. It's not all about talking about the problems. Everybody knows what the problems are on the continent. But it's time, actually, apart from reading out the figures of GDP growth and the like, but regional inequality on the continent, getting the youth engaged, getting the youth educated properly. So people are willing to talk, but there are people who are actually just saying, not in the essence of all this, is the leadership, the current leadership on the continent is not ready to be held, or if people are not holding the leadership accountable so far.
Well, Well, it's a case of implementation in whatever it is that you're talking about. Now, this year's theme is achieving inclusive growth through responsive and responsible leadership. Well, you said you spoke to some of the participants there. I'm not sure if you're able to talk to the organizers. Why is this theme apt at this time?
Well, it still anchors on, as you mentioned just now, leadership. You know, what the leadership is doing about every single thing that is being agreed to. I just finished a plenary session where you had panelists like Mr. Tony Olumelu of Tony Olumelu Foundation or UBA. You had some of the political leaders in Africa, talking about every single thing, the lack of investment in agriculture, the lack of empathetic leadership, the lack of leadership that doesn't look at legacy, building legacy in leadership. So it's still anchored on what the leadership, they agree that there is a leadership vacuum on the continent and that something has to be done, either a new breed of leadership, or a new breed of younger leaders are built on the continent, or those who have been there must be held accountable or must be made sure that they implement all the solutions that have been offered along the line.
Now, Betty, before I let you go, WEF Africa 2017 comes as host country South Africa faces sluggish economic growth, subdued investment, and increasing fiscal and economic policy uncertainty amidst credit rating downgrades. What does the government of South Africa hope to push for at this summit?
Well, at this point, I don't want to be the finance minister of South Africa. He's been holding a series of sessions, and this meeting has another one. And the focus basically is to rebuild confidence of investors in the country, despite the downgrade and the political issues that have refused to go away, and they still play a part in what happens in the next few months. But along the line, boost growth. If that is done, the investment is boosted on the continent. You have growth and then job prospects as well for those the unemployed in the country. So he's holding a series of meetings. He has one today and one very early tomorrow morning as well, where he's speaking not just to big-time investors, but anyone who says to listen. Basically, to reassure the people that South Africa is a destination with the infrastructure, with the manpower as well to attract investment.
All right, thank you very much, Betty. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Betty Dibia.